guys, Eddie back with Couch Talk. Welcome back to the show. If it's your first time with us, as always, welcome to the show. Guys, please hit like, please hit subscribe below, hit the notification button, and we will be on our way. I promise if you stick with me, I will earn your viewership. Guys, I wanted to take a quick moment to talk about comedians, to talk about jokes, to talk about how they're perceived, and what's going on of late in society, because I see a very disturbing trend to basically eliminate humor from our culture entirely. I may have said this in a previous video, I'll say it again because it bears saying. There is a moral imperative to try not to offend people. But there's a moral imperative not to be offended if you can avoid it. Right? Now, some things are so blatant that you just can't avoid it. Get very personal, and they're pressure points. But when it comes to jokes, we have got to grow thicker skin. One of the problems I think we run into is, when you go to a comedy show, for example, if you're not wearing that thicker skin, I gotta say, guys, you just don't belong in that comedy show, right? Like, is there a way to go cross the line with a comedian? I don't really think so. I mean, the whole point of a comedian, the whole job that they do, is to take things that are kind of like, in a way, there's some deep truth to it, right? And maybe not in a direct way, but in a quirky way, they kind of expose this truth, and in a way that, just we find funny, we find amusing. Now, does that mean that every joke has to ring true with you? No. You don't have to laugh at every joke. You don't have to get every joke. But there's a contract, I feel, for anybody that's going to join a comedy show, anybody who's going to sit there and listen to Dave Chappelle or Chris Rock or somebody, you name it, Jeff Foxworthy, any of the great comedians. If you're ready to go to a comedy show, you got to be ready for the jokes, right? And, the same goes for anybody who shows up at an award ceremony where there's a comedy host, you remember that situation with Chris Rock and Will Smith, and he was making fun of Jada Pinkett Smith. Did he say something that was inappropriate? Yeah, but it's Chris Rock. What did we really expect? And of all people, Will Smith is a comedian. Of all the people I would have expected to understand and appreciate that comment, I would have thought it was him. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure he did. As a matter of fact, I think he was just, I think he just changed his mind based on the reaction that Mrs. Smith, fed over to him. I think he was kind of laughing at first, and then he realized that maybe not a good idea to laugh with your wife sitting right there. But guys, recently, Dave Chappelle did a comedy skit, and he mentioned, the LGBTQ community. And oh my God, did they give him hell for it. But guys, it's a joke. It's a bunch of jokes. And Dave Chappelle is a funny guy. You're not supposed to take it seriously. Obviously, these are all satires. They're all sarcasms. They're all plays on words. They're things that you don't necessarily think about all the time, but it's just something that he's cutting to a truth that's just, there's an honesty there. And if you're not ready to take it, then don't listen to his stuff. You shouldn't assume that they're anti-LGBTQ remarks just because he happens to say something that might depict that community in a less than perfect light. Guys, we got to be able to laugh at ourselves. We got to be able to laugh at ourselves if we're going to make it through, and nobody makes it out of this life alive. So we've just got to be able to cut to the chase and to just laugh and to enjoy the humor that we are presented with. But if you can't do that, just don't watch it. Just don't watch. And then he did another one later. Dave Chappelle did another one, and it was about Jews. And everybody's like, oh God, he's an anti-Semite, and all these anti-Semitic remarks. Guys, they're jokes. Calm the hell down. They are jokes. And I've listened to it. It wasn't even that bad. It was like he was just talking about how many Jews there are in the in the film industry, in the show business industry. So what? That's not anti-Semitic. Anyway, I mean, you get the point, guys. You just got to be able to take these things with a grain of salt. You got to be a little bit more lighthearted. And I would say the same thing. Like, again, we need to give each other the benefit of the doubt. We need to assume that intentions are honorable until they are proven to not be. And I would say that 99 times out of 100, a comedian is going in with honorable intentions. He is going in to make people laugh. He's going in to make light of the universe. He is not going in there to try to hurt people's feelings. Dave Chappelle is not going in there to try to make enemies. He's just trying to make people laugh. Guys, give the world a break. Give the world a break. We've got to be able to accept humor. Because I'll be honest, I've heard some of that politically correct humor, and it is boring. It's like crickets. So we got to be able to listen to humor that actually cuts somebody occasionally, because that's just the only kind of humor that is actually funny, honestly. We'll talk about this more, but I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say about it. Post your comments below. I mean, I know some of this stuff, obviously you don't want to go out trying to hurt anybody's feelings. And if a comedian's out there doing that, then they're not a very funny comedian, honestly. But if they're the kind of comedian that goes out there and makes people laugh, then if you're looking around, guys, and you see other people laughing and you didn't find it funny, you thought it was hurting your feelings directly, then probably you're the one that's just taking it a little bit too seriously. Just my 2 cents. All right, we'll catch you next time on Couch Talk.